Anyone else got a view on that?
I think it's interesting to point out the fact that American use of voucher codes compared to the British use of voucher codes is 400% difference. I think that's almost, not to sound too negative, but the British mentality of if something's good, they almost don't believe it. I mean, I've had a lot of experience of telling people, like, if you go onto a reward site, you can get cash back. If you buy stuff online, you can get money off. No, you can't. That's not right. People almost don't believe it because it almost seems too good to be true. It's not a phenomenal thing to get 10% cash back if you buy something, but people have the negative issue that they don't get something for free, so they almost don't believe it. So the people that are using it, obviously savvy enough to know they can get a discount, but it's more a case of what you do once you've given that discount to your customer. It's not just about giving them 10% off, it's about the entire customer journey. You might give them a discount, you then get a customer, and it's our job as a merchant to ensure that our customer stays with us.
Do you do regular voucher codes?
Yeah, it's pretty much constantly always one
It's
running.
constantly, and it's what?
Usually a spend and stretch.
Spend and stretch.
Stretch and spend.
I had a conversation last week at the Bristol Roadshow for the Affiliate Forum. If you've never been on one, they are great because you can pick up lots of information and you might make one meeting or chat to one person that makes it worthwhile. And last week in Bristol I talked to a guy from Voucher Cloud. I don't know, everyone aware of Voucher Cloud? Yeah. Who I'd seen about and I hadn't really got any contact with, and I had an interesting chat with him. He told me that since February when they launched their site, they do offline, they do a voucher code book as well, and they have their website. But what intrigued me is that they have an iPhone app now, 700,000 downloads since February. And I went to the Google Retail Summit last October where they were talking about in the US downloading to your iPhone or whatever smartphone and being able to take that, a barcode into a shop and get a voucher code. So I think particular niches are going to be addressed and be more prone to using these voucher codes now, and are going to believe it because it's there, it's in the technology. They're going to come to expect that. Now, Phil, you get voucher codes from lots of merchants. Do you actually promote them?
Badly at the moment, I think is the best description.
Is that because of lack of resource?
This lack of resource on our development is basically because we are a content site mainly.
Yeah.
We're not a voucher code site, but if you can't beat them, join them. So we're going to start offering voucher codes that are available for the various, because we see there's benefit in it.
I think that the key with voucher codes is everyone thinks, for people who aren't a fan of voucher codes, is it devalues this or cuts into our profit margins. It's really about using voucher code smartly, using, you've got your peaks, maybe using your troughs or increasing. It's not about maybe regularity, but maybe increasing the basket value. So not just a discount, but a discount if you buy X and Y, you get X amount rather than just buy this and you get a discount. Because really, as much as you want to increase your sales, you can't do it on a decreased basket. What you need to do is do it as a bundle. And so a lot of merchants kind of look at it and go, oh, I'm not sure if I can do this because they're thinking about frequency or they're thinking about their profit margin. It's really about doing it smartly. And as far as kind of flooding the market, with vouchers itself, like you said, not a lot of people are aware of vouchers. It's not actually being flooded about the same time. I think the e-consultancy report, last month was on how people purchased or behaviour online. It was saying that I think 57% of consumers would buy because of a discount or a voucher or because it benefited them. So if there's something in it for them, they're obviously more likely to spend. And then from there on, it's like how can you develop that? Whether that's developing it offline, whether that's increasing the bundle. It's voucher codes, although it's increased in the past year because of recession, etc. It can still be developed much further. It's just either networks or affiliates or merchants coming together and going, okay, what can we do here to kind of grow that industry or make it mutually beneficial for everybody? So in terms of kind of flooding, I don't think it is. And in terms of kind of growth, I think there's still much more that can be done.
Okay. I was going to say with I don't know if you're familiar with Bowden, but they've got a very good email marketing campaign,
Yes.
And I always wait till day 5 because by then they're offering me 25% off as opposed to day 1 where they're only offering me 5. So, you know, I mean, they're looking at the response rates and they know that I'm probably a bit harder to get than some people go, oh, great, wow, yeah, look, and hop on the website straight away. So I think also, you know, the timing and also different kinds of people. I think you've got the people that are more voucher savvy know, oh, actually, there might be a better offer just around the corner, I'll hang fire for a minute.
Yeah.
So there are people like that as well, but I think in terms of saturation, I don't think it's saturated at all. I think us, we're in the industry, we know about it, we're really savvy on it, we're on there, you know, but I think the general population, like Stu said, that, you know, they're just not that aware. And to find out that you can actually use an emailed voucher online as well, you know, I mean, I think a lot of people are missing that. So I think the communication there is key. I think that I like your idea of the bundled, you know, that rather than just a flat, oh, here we go, another discount, but actually adding the value, as you also said.
It's like DFS, they always offer like a discount, end of summer sale, and something, and it's like, well, okay, there's always a sale, so
yeah, absolutely.
You know, what's new, what's in it for me.
We haven't got a lot to work with, like I said, because we do only offer one product, but one thing that obviously the Virgin brand looks at is the value, adding the value, going the extra mile, adding that little bit extra than other companies. So I mean, that's certainly sort of something that I think we can all look at as merchants, is just to add that extra bit of value.
Just out of interest, how many of us here actually use voucher codes when we go and purchase something online? I never do. You know, I don't know what that is. I've never looked for a voucher code.
Voucher codes and cashback sites.
Can I just add a small point about the voucher codes? It's quite funny that you know, you guys are right. You know, most people probably outside this room, outside the industry, haven't really heard about this. But it's funny how that mindset's slowly changing. Like I know, I introduced my dad to what the voucher code was about 6 months ago, and now every time he goes to an e-commerce site, he sees a little voucher code, you know, voucher box, and he'll scour the internet for days looking for a voucher, and because you know. But you know, I certainly think it's going to change in terms of the way people expect to buy. And it's not really a question, is it flooding or not flooding? I think it's just, this is the way people are choosing to buy, and therefore we have to be intelligent as merchants and as an industry and say, okay, well, that's how people want to buy it, so let's encourage it, and let's just, you know, find a way for to make that process easier and more fun for people. So
I would agree with that, definitely. As in terms of myself, until I started working for my voucher codes, which was about a year ago, I hadn't even heard of a voucher code, so I'd never used one. Obviously, in terms of flooding the market, again, reiterating what people say, I don't think actually that many people are aware of voucher codes. And then you're talking about the population that buy online, then you're talking about the rest of the population that don't even buy online. So that's gradually changing. You've seen a huge growth in, you know, transactional retail online, like more and more brands are becoming transactional online. So H&V has recently gone transactional, Zara has recently gone transactional, there's a few other brands I can't mention that are going to go transactional. So all these big high street brands are slowly realising that they need an online presence and they need to provide, obviously, you know, a service to people that want to buy online. And then slowly more and more people, it's going to become a way of life. People are just going to buy online. And you've got that core set of people that will only buy online if they've got a voucher code. And that's filtering out slowly through the younger generation, I think. As in people with more disposable income, you know, a bit more materialistic these days, but they still want a bargain. So hitting that target demographic is quite key. Whereas for us, you would think that the older generation would not necessarily be that internet savvy, or would necessarily buy online, or would even know how to use a computer. Rather ages, so, but
There were
however,
2 million new users on the internet last year, which 1 million were over 50.
yeah, and our
It's
second
spreading.
biggest demographic is retired males and females. So that's that's huge. Yeah, so they're quite a key demographic for us to hit. So you'll find that now all sections of society are now using the internet to buy online, and no matter, you know, I think I get a lot of questions from maybe more high-end brands about, will this devalue my brand? I don't want to release a voucher code because I don't want to be seen as a discounter. So the question is, I put to them, is that you need to balance the fact that you have an affiliate program and you obviously would like me to help you drive you traffic. On the other hand, I need something in return, which is a voucher code. And people are looking for voucher codes to buy, and it doesn't necessarily devalue your brand if you do it in a very strategic way. So talking about tailoring solutions, people's buying habits are changing. So maybe a straight up 5% off won't necessarily attract or stand out among the other 7% off, 10% off. They all, you know, if people find a voucher, they'll probably use it. Is there that much difference when it's a 1%? So for us, we are happy to talk to you and maybe find solutions as in spend and save, a free gift, you know, a one-day large discount, and, you know, we'll promote it to high heaven and put it everywhere. And also utilising social media, which I think we'll come to later.
Right.
Definitely. I would usually adhere to that as well. However, for us, it depends on your basket value, it depends on the season, and we can maybe trial two things. Because I wouldn't say just do a spend and save, let's do two. So let's do a straight up percentage. We'll promote that the same way as a spend and save. We'll see how both of them perform. And you know, obviously I want it to perform as well as it can do, and so do you. And then that's probably the right solution for you at certain seasonal times. So I think as long as you're flexible enough to do different types of offers at different periods of the year, then I think that's definitely a good way to go. So spend and saves do work very, very well for certain brands. It's all about whether it works for your brand or not. So for example, it will guarantee a certain basket value for you, so obviously your margins aren't that affected that much, and it guarantees me obviously a certain amount of commission because the basket value is higher. So for certain brands it works really well, but it's all about trying it basically. So test it. Run two at once, for example. So.
If I can just add one more thing, just ever so briefly, don't underestimate the value of free delivery. It's massive, especially there was a report that came out recently by Experian in the US that said free delivery is one of the biggest drivers for sales for the voucher code industry over there in the US. So I think that's something that you should never really think that free delivery is a good option as well.
One last thing about free delivery. I completely agree. A lot of merchants tell me that their most popular code is free delivery. The most popular out of anything. Percentage off, you know, save £10 here, spend and save. It's the most popular.
Let's try that with you next time.
Yeah, you should.
Our
I
highest
think we've got
performing
ready
one
for
with you is the 5% off.
Yeah.
Because we did that because it's been going long term, I think.
Yeah.
But there are other more niche ones that do. Anyone got anything else to say about voucher codes?